This year for parent-teacher conferences, the students will be using the individual student report to share information with parents about their progress on the ACT Aspire as well as predicted ACT composite scores. So I just want to walk you through some of the components really quick so that you can better understand this report that you'll be utilizing. The first thing is the composite score up here at the top. That score, although it doesn't mean much outside of Aspire, it is something that you can easily see growth from previous years to the current year. Next to that, we have your predicted composite score. So that would be an average of all of your different areas, your English, reading, science, and math combined. Keep in mind that the ACT is out of 36 points, so that predicted composite would be how they would expect you to do if you were to take the ACT as a junior. So those are taking into consideration that you may have some additional growth that happens between now and the time that you would take that your junior year. And then for each area, it has your category. There are 4 category possibilities, the lowest being in need of support. Then there's close, then ready, and then exceeding. So ready is going to be on target to be what they would consider successful on the ACT as a junior. And so then underneath that, again, that is one of those composite scores, but this score is specifically for the English area. Beneath that is the predicted ACT score in that specific area. So as you can see, for instance, the predicted English score compared to the predicted science score, there are differences in those for each of the areas. In the little graph, you can see the progress the student has made over the years. So this student is a 10th grader, so this dot would show 8th grade, then 9th grade, and then currently this year as a 10th grader what they scored. As you can see, this one, the score was increasing all 3 years, but if we jump down to reading, they started out in 8th grade, increased in 9th grade, and then have dropped off a little bit in their sophomore year. Beneath the graph, you also have the readiness benchmark. So if you were at a 428, they would expect you to be considered ready. This student scored at a 444, so they were above that benchmark, which is why they are in that readiness category of exceeding. And then it also tells you what the national average was. So if they took every student who was a 10th grader who took the English part of the assessment, the average would have been 431. That is the same thing for all 4 of the subject areas. Going down, we have the combined scores. You have your ELA readiness, which combines your reading and your English. And then it tells you whether you are ready, which would be at this black mark, or below readiness. The STEM score combines your math and your science. You also over here have your national percentile ranks. So this 89th percent means that this student scored better than 89% of the students who took the same test this year. And then down here at the bottom, it has your scale score range. So this is, if you were to take the same test and just do it on a different day this year, this would be how they would predict that you would do. So it kind of gives you that range in case there were specific factors that were not taken into consideration on your test date. On page 2 of your report, it then takes each of those sections and breaks it down, and it also at this point includes writing information. So within English, all of your questions would fall into these 3 categories. It then tells you how many questions you got correct out of how many were possible, and then gives you this percentile. Down in the writing area, keep in mind, since you don't actually have a predictive score, this is where you'll find all your information about your writing. Then finally, at the bottom of this document, you're going to find these improvement ideas. So these are things that if you look at those scores on the first page and you are not content with that predictive score, these are things that you could do that would help to increase the score that you are currently being predicted to achieve. So you've got items that are specific for each of the different areas labeled in green, and then within each of those subcategories, up here above, these 3 areas, then it gives you things you could do in each one of those areas that would help to improve that overall composite score for that specific area. Keep in mind that once you see your document, if you have specific questions, feel free to either come and find me or you can email me. So my email is dsmith, DSMITH, at frontenac249.org. I know that there is a lot of information on this, but keep it really simplistic. Look at those trends. Look to see what things could you do if you had a specific area that was a lot lower than the others or an area that fell off compared to previous years. What are things that you could implement to do a little bit better to score higher? Keep in mind, this is also something that helps us make decisions based on what test is best for you to take as a junior and senior. Is it best for you to take the ACT? If you are college bound, that is something that you are going to need for admissions. Or if you're looking more at a trade school or straight into the workforce, then work keys as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.